Mike, good to have you on here, sir. Thank you.
Hey Jacob, how you doing? Good?
I'm doing good. Now we were supposed to do this a few weeks ago, but we hit a little bit of a hiccup. You,
Um,
you you had injured yourself.
the first, yeah, I had injured myself pretty terribly and was recovering from a 72-hour bender coming out of Canada. And yeah, so it's probably best to reschedule where I'm not so out of my mind. And I feel better now. I'm actually walking, playing shows, feeling good.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
Uh,
how the leg was.
The leg is excellent. I've since then I've played. We went to do the Field Division King Giz Fest in Colorado, which was cool, and
Yeah.
did a couple local shows since. It was just a wild night. We were in Canada. We played a festival, and we were supposed to fly from Canada to our Wicked Lady to close the bar down, but our flight got delayed, so we it got pushed 6 hours. So we ended up still boarding the flight, landing, and playing like we were supposed to play like 11 and we ended up playing at 3 a.m. So we got off the plane, went straight to the stage, played a wild 3 to 4:30 a.m. set, which ended in debauchery. We pretty much we some a buddy of ours said he's got a friend's studio down the street, and we went over there and partied. I think I didn't come home for 2 days. So, and I got injured because the it's actually a really funny story. I'll tell it if you want to hear it. But
Please, yeah.
so our buddy Dustin Dolan, he's a skater guy. He also skates, and he's got a new band out here with Julia from Tits Dick Ass called Fine Mess, and they came to the show. And at the end, Dustin approached me and said, "We have a friend studio down the street. If you want to come hang." So we went there, and it was like the sun's coming out, that kind of night, and we're drinking, hanging, chatting, just like listening to music. And the next day, I go to Our Wicked Lady, like when the sun's out, like 1 p.m., to grab my things and go home like a normal adult. And I ended up I snuck somehow got into Our Wicked Lady, slept on the couch, woke up to our drummer collecting his drum stuff and inviting me to Anchorden around the corner from Our Wicked Lady. And we go there, and Dustin and Matthew are there, and so we decide to keep the party going. And Our Wicked Lady now being a closed-ish, they were having one more night where some people were gathering and hanging at the bar, and we wanted to jam Mystery Lights and Fine Mess with Dustin's band. And we were like, well, what if we go to Our Wicked Lady unannounced, grab the gear because I still had gear there, set up and start our own rooftop party and go like while out and don't say anything to anybody. Let's just do it for fun. So we went there, set up, and proceeded to have the wildest, most fun, unplanned party that we could have done for Our Wicked Lady. And the people who were there were at first they were confused, like what the hell are this crew doing? But I think in the end it was really fun. There was like 11 people on instruments and drums and jamming, and Dustin and I were squirting water guns of tequila in each other's mouths and at each other and tackling each other off the stage, wrestling. I was jumping in, like I was pulling like a Jack Black where I would like crowd surf, but there's no crowd. So jumping off the stage and landing on the like concrete or whatever, up on the up the rooftop. And it was stupid. It was like drunk stupidity. I never drink that much. I think I needed it. I feel like I needed a bender. I needed to like let loose, and it was uh it was so much fun. But I woke the next day when we were supposed to have the podcast, and I couldn't walk really. So it was terrible, terrible week of not being able to really walk. I don't know if I sent you the photo of my legs, but they were like black and blue.
Yeah, yeah, they're messed up, but I'm glad that you're doing better now and able to move.
Yeah, I feel really good, and I even actually after the we went to Field of Vision last week, or I think I got my time right, but and came home and I like had there was still a little bit of pain, so I actually went and got it checked out because I've been like jumping around my whole life, jumping off amps and skating and just being you know and I got it all cleared. They said that I had a really bad like bruise deep in the kneecap. That's why it was painful, hurting, but no broken, no nothing, no tears. Meanwhile, Dustin, who like has skated his whole life, he has had 7 knee surgeries, so I can't really complain. And I think I'm very grateful that my knees are in good shape because I have jumped off of like big amps and the like I should be more hurt than I am. So I'm grateful
Nice.
today. I just got that clearance like yesterday. So
Okay.
knees are
Um,
good.
yeah, that's good. And yeah, of course, Dustin Dollin, I'm known for just attacking everything
Yeah, he
on a
attacks.
skateboard.
He's wild. It's been really cool. We've always brushed shoulders. One time in Paris, he was out at a show. We didn't really know him that well, but we went to an after party at his house, um, with some members of the band Fat White Family and some other friends. And he had something had happened that night, but he ended up kicking everybody out, including us. And me and LA thought it was funny because LA is plays guitar in Mystery Lights. We call him LA as Luis Alfonso, but he and I met through our mutual love of skateboarding, which when you're a kid watching skate videos, you fall in love with the music in the skate videos and start thinking on the terms of like that kind of led us to being in a band and playing music. We're like, well, damn, let's make some music like that, like Ethan Fowler skating to like Filthy Rich or Dead Moon or Gray Matter. Um, so we thought it was kind of funny getting kicked out of Dustin's house at the time, and then kind of like ran into him here in Ridgewood not too long ago. And after the Our Wicked Lady night, we actually became really, really good friends. We just really hit it off and connected. So that's been a really awesome recent friendship that I'm super grateful for. And also just, knowing him as a legendary skate icon. I mean, he really did he created a culture in that, with skating and music and all that Baker 3 stuff and all
Right.
the old Baker tapes and um, he's just a profound has had a profound impact. And it's also cool to just now call him a friend. And also, he's helping us with our new music video, helping us get like some kid footage of like some of our favorite skaters that we're trying to compile for a video that we'll be releasing this year. It's really, really exciting project, but we got him involved now. So, shout out Dustin. His band is really, really, really good. I mean, like, they only released one song that you can access on Instagram called "Fun," and it's freaking awesome. And they went upstate to record with Oakleaf and Black Lips, but Fine Mess has got some good music cooking, and I think when that comes out, people are going to be really stoked on that. Julie is a genius as well, and so that's a really cool combination. And Dustin's Dustin. I mean, he's hilarious and good lyricist too. Actually, they do good music.
Right on. Is is that one of this instance of hanging out with Dustin after these shows? Is that an instance that really stands out to you? Not just because it's in recent memory, just because that was one of the more crazier things that has happened to you while on tour or while playing a string of shows.
No, no, that was just right place, right time, and it's the most recent, cool, fun thing that I'm really grateful for because I have new awesome friends in my life and new people that I really have like a soul connection with. I feel like Dustin is really one of them, just because we kind of grew up the same. We grew up kind of like bored kids picking up a skateboard, trying to like meet friends out. It's just like it's stereotypical. Like he got into music based in the like skating too. Um,
Are there any other events that have happened in the past while on tour or while playing a show that still stand out to you in that sort of a way?
yeah, big time. I mean, well, Luis and I have known each other since teenagers. We started the band when we were teenagers. So over the last 2 decades, there's been a lot of really crazy, wild things that have happened that are really cool. Met a lot of our heroes, which is awesome. I'm growing up a big Hives fan. It was cool to meet them and go on tour with them. And now they're good friends as well. That was really cool. But one that was a real huge trip that I think you might appreciate, um, is Michael Imperioli in Sopranos, Goodfellas.
Yes, right.
He also plays in the band Zopa, and we got a show opportunity to play with Zopa, um, and so we met and hit it off. Us and the band really hit it off, and Michael's wife was a big Mystery Lights fan, which is cool, and we ended up doing more shows together. But one in particular I thought was very cool. Is we did a show in New York followed by a show in Philadelphia, and we didn't at the time have a van, and so we actually ended up renting a van with Michael and taking a Philadelphia road trip with Imperioli and his band and Mystery Lights. And I just thought that was so crazy to be right. I think he's an incredible actor and also just an amazing human. He has a great taste in music. And so just driving there talking about Buddhism and music and film, and he's just like, I'm just sitting there with probably one of my favorite actors, really, if I really think about it. Like, I think his character in Sopranos was like one of the best characters you can like out there. And I didn't
Right.
like fan out. I didn't want to. So we just talked on the level, But then after the show, on the way home, the band's a little drunk at this point, and like we're talking about Velvet Underground, and he used to know Lou Reed and all this stuff, um, talking to us about all these crazy stories. And we had to pee, and there was like no gas station, and we pull over on the side of the road, and we're pissing on the side of the road, and I had this thought of like, we're in a van on the way back from New York after playing a show, pissing on the side of the road with Michael Imperioli. I just thought it was funny and one of the most like momentous moments of my life. It just cracks me up. But he's cool. He's a friend, and it's cool to call him a friend also because I respect his art. And um, I think that's something that I'm super grateful for. I've gotten a chance to meet a lot of very talented, awesome people who are some of my best friends. Actually, Pat and McGee, a new party. I think you did a podcast with him
Yeah, shout out to Patton.
because
Please go back and listen to that episode when you're done with this one.
I
Fantastic.
listened. I
Right.
listened to it. I actually I looked it up because when you and I were talking, I looked up your podcast. I saw Pat, and I said, you know what? I love Pat. I'm going to throw this on while I do other things. And it was awesome, man. And Patton, I was with him last night, or no, 2 nights ago. It was LA, our guitar player's birthday, and we were hanging. And I told him, I said I was going to do the podcast, that I listened to his, and it's very cool. And but like he's a talented guy, and like I just it's Nude Party and Mystery Lights used to travel a lot together. We're like all best friends, and they've done amazing things. Now he's got that solo record. That's one of the greatest things. It's
Fantastic
just cool. It's
album.
just
Yeah.
cool to be friends and also like come up with all these really freaking cool people. I mean, also even look at King Gizzard. Like we just played Phil Division. It's their festival in Colorado that they started. It's like the Giz Fest of the United States. But back in the day, they came to New York and we used to play little shows together. We played a backyard in front of 20, 30 people once. We
Wow.
played Baby's All Right up on, we have like with like Natural Child and then White Fence. And actually, White Fence did it. We did a show where White Fence headlined, Giz opened, and then we were the first band. And now look at them. They're the biggest psych rock band in the world, and they have their own festival where 10,000 plus were in attendance. It's sold out, which to sell out a festival to me is insane. You always look at festivals as like infinite tickets, but they sold it out in the middle of beautiful Colorado, surrounded by rivers, and they had all of the bands that they kind of grew up in the United States with a history with. They had White Fence, they had us, and and Michael Rout, Pearl Charles, and all them just on the stage taking it in, like, holy cow, like this band did it. They created this amazing culture of like giz heads. They're pretty much the new Grateful Dead.
Right.
And I think that's so freaking cool. And how lucky am I to know them on a friend based level. It's just so cool to know so many talented, awesome artists doing amazing things. And um, that's that's been a really cool realization I've been having a lot lately. Like, damn, if I could just tell like 15-year-old me about what is going to happen in like the 30s of my life, it's just a trip. I wouldn't like, I'd be like, really? That's sounds like a joke, but it's reality and it's really cool. And
Yeah. That is
I
really
think
cool.
it's just yeah, it's just been a really cool trippy life, Jacob. You know,
Right.
where are you, Jacob? May I ask?
Orange County, California.
Mm, cool. So you know, like we were from the West Coast,
Right. Yeah.
a- and we used to come all the time south to play shows out there and stuff. LA went to. We actually had the Mystery Lights in like Salinas, California, like
Mhm.
Central Coast, and he. This is kind of crazy. This is how long of a history the Mystery Lights have. So we had him in the band, and we had this perfect band, and then he decided to go to college. So he left the band for 4 years, and we filled in new guitar players. Graduated college, came back, and we still were doing the same shit with Mystery Lights. And then he rejoined the band. I mean, that's how long of a slow burn the Mystery Lights have been. But it's just funny to think that like the Mystery Lights have been around his whole college career, his whole college, like all 4 years of college and some. It's just trippy that he and I are still doing it, and it's still fun. We're not burnt out at all. It's like it's if anything, it's gotten way more fun because there's more opportunities and more money. So now we're able to like sleep in a bed instead of asking people who has a floor we can crash on, which is a game changer in and of itself. You
Yeah.
know.
What was do you remember the first time that you went out on a tour? Do you remember that experience?
Yeah, when we were younger, we jumped on a little tour with our buddies Luxury Suites
Right. Yeah.
up to, I'd say we went to like maybe Oregon, like what's the Portland
Mhm.
and back. It was like nothing crazy, just playing little clubs here and there. We, only stuff that we had out was like MySpace, and we'd burn a CD and like give it to people or sell it at the merch table. And so things were way different back then. And that was our first tour. Funny story about that, I can tell you. On the way back, we were young, stupid punks. Like we weren't, I wasn't using my brain, but we pulled into a gas station, and I bought this pirate set because I was wearing like a striped shirt and I like felt like a pirate. And I bought this pirate says like a pirate gun and a pirate eye patch and a little sword. And I put it on and was jokingly pointing it at everyone in the car, and some cars like driving by, I would like jokingly shoot at them as a dumb teenager. And Suddenly we're driving, and Joe, or who's driving, the original bass player who also started Mystery Edge, Joe Delamora, he starts to notice like, damn, there's a lot of cops behind us. Like this is kind of weird. Like I look back and I see, damn, there's like eight of them, like eight cop cars. Like I wonder what's going on. And they pull their lights on, and it's pulling us over. So all these cop cars pull over, and they pull out the megaphone, which is something I thought only happened in cops. And they ask us all to put our hands out the window, throw the keys out the window. They all get out with guns pulled on the car, and they ask us to get out one by one with our backs turned, hands up in the air. Our drummer, Stephen Miller, at the time was in like board shorts and he was shirtless. So it literally was something out of Cops. And we all slowly backed up while they put us in handcuffs and put us in the car. I'm confused as to why the hell they're pulling us over. I've started to put together like, did someone steal something at the gas station? I'm like, something. And then I start to hear the radio about a weapon, and did he have intention to shoot? And so they told me, they said we got a call saying that there was somebody in a car with a weapon pointing it at drivers, and so we're going to search the vehicle. And I was like, no, 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 this is a misunderstanding. Like there's a fake thing. I didn't really get to explain myself. They asked me to actually not talk. So they searched the vehicle and found it, the fake gun, and they brought us over and they scolded us. And they gave me a ticket for brandishing a replica firearm. So I had to in Shasta County. So I had like a court date and everything, like felony style charge, And they let us go. But when I got home, I actually wrote a really, really convincing letter to the judge explaining the situation, explaining my stupidity and wasn't thinking and I was just having fun. And the judge actually wrote back and dismissed the case. It's very cool.
Wow.
I think the letter was convincing. My stepfather, who's really smart, helped me write it, and I think it washed away my sins. But it was that was really funny, and that was the first tour we'd gone on, official. So yeah, it was a fun start.
Did they let you keep the gun?
Actually, I don't remember. I don't remember if they gave it to me or not, but I do remember everyone was pretty shooken up, being having guns pointed. I probably tossed it, and I probably felt really stupid because it's a dumb thing to do. But again, when you're young, like nothing is really dumb. You're just having fun. And I'm actually shocked that the driver took it so serious. Like we
Right.
clearly look like stupid kids, but then
But
again,
you
if
were
I was
dressed as
in,
a pirate. So,
I was dressed
uh,
as a pirate and I had a gun pointing it at them, which I don't know if but it was a really funny story. I still to this day I can't believe it. I just remember the like having them have guns drawn on us to me is so crazy. It's like just a whole like we were so confused, you know.
right. Who was the first
But
band that you brought on the road for like an opening slot?
I think it was Nude Party. Isn't that funny?
That's awesome.
They like outgrew us. I mean they were pretty sure they were one of the bands like I can remember touring and them. I mean, we supported a lot of other bands. Like, oh no, you know what? Nude Party, I think, like a small one, but also Future Punks is another one too. That was pretty cool. Um, in the more recent years, since we started putting out records in 2016 with Daptone subsidiary Wick Records, that's where my memory really is as far as tours where we had support. Otherwise, we were usually supporting or just headlining with random local support. Um, but Nude Party was one of the bands I can remember touring together, and us actually being the last band playing every night, which is funny because then they proceeded to make a big mark, especially in the United States. Really cool.
Right.
We used to do a song together. We can find like footage of us doing like White Light, White Heat, Velvet Underground, and Gloria
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe I saw Lonesome Cowboy Bill
But yeah.
performance as well by both of you
Yeah.
guys is good.
Yeah. Well, that was for a benefit because our bass player, Alex Amini, got in a really, really bad motorcycle accident where he broke 12 bones, his spine, pretty much everything you can imagine. And he actually got away with his wrist is still messed up, and I don't think will ever be the same. He could play, but it's like stiff. Everything else healed. We thought he was going to be paralyzed. We thought he could be dead. The way that they told us, they said he'd broken 12 things. We're like, oof. We threw a benefit for him, and the benefit was me, Patton, obviously the other Mystery Lights members, and a couple other people. Our buddy Russell, who plays in Stopa Ray, and some other bands. Great bass player, great dude. And Patton and me sang. And it was really, really fun. But that was a benefit for Alex. And we called ourselves like the Alex and Min Amini benefit, one of those like stereotypical names. It was like a long name band, tribute band or whatever. And that was where we did Lonesome Cowboy Bill and we did Bad to the Bone and all kinds of funny. There's a whole video, I think, of that performance. But that was a special night. Raised some good money for the dude because he had his bills piled up real
Right.
bad. And then he proceeded to have like 4 surgeries on his like everywhere.
Oh,
He's good
wow.
now.
I'm glad he's good. I'm glad he's better.
Yeah,
Um,
he's much better. I mean, he's like I said, his wrists might not ever be the same, and it's a hard pill for him to swallow accepting that. It's a bummer because he might not like he can't do like push-ups and stuff, but he uh he could play the bass and he's alive and he's alive and well. It's not like he lost his hand, so he's able to use it still. So there's some things to be very grateful about. But yeah, that was a gnarly accident. But the benefit show was cool. I told him. I told him, we were trying to get him to come, but I think just he was in a lot of pain, and because he was still able to like get around a little, but he just it's kind of weird, like being at a benefit show, and then it's overwhelming. So
right.
he sat it out and posted his gratitude toward everyone for raising the money and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah. That is cool.
Um,
What makes a good performance in your eyes when you're up on stage?
a good performance. Usually, it has to do with feeling more than anything. It's not even the sound to me. A lot of times it's just how the band feels. The band's having fun and vibing on each other, and the crowd is feels like a house party or something. There's a lot of moments in the show that are like unpredictable and funny and fun, and everything feels like it's rolling and breathing together. It's less of a show and it's more of a community of like, it's like I said, like a house party feel. Um, if the sound is awesome, also, then that's a plus. But usually I prioritize feeling and vibe over like anything else. Even our performance, even we could play a show where we butcher notes, break strings, but if everyone's having fun and feeling good, that's the only thing that matters to me. I've had shows where I didn't feel good. I felt like I could have given the crowd more. I felt a little closed off, not connected to the crowd, but we sounded great and didn't make a mistake. And I thought those shows are terrible. So I really do prioritize everyone feeling it than playing a perfect show. If I don't feel connected, which is very rare, I think now 95% of the shows are like on point, but the small percent that aren't, it's sucks. I go home feeling guilty. But then everyone else at the show they enjoy it. Like I think nobody. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to crush it and like do a good show for people coming out. And the bigger the band has gotten, or the more people that come out now, there's a more you want to do even better. We used to just open, and so we didn't really care. Like we're like okay, but now being a headlining band, it's like people are coming to see us, and we want to deliver a good show. And like I said, 95% of the time we're able to deliver, but there's like the 5% that's really bad. And sometimes I wake up the next day like, oh, what am I doing? Maybe I'll do something else. Only for a day. Only for a day. It doesn't last that long, but
Right.
you know.
Are those characteristics what you're looking for from a show when you go to attend a show? When you're attending a concert?
Yeah, I like the vibe. I like the feel. I like it when it feels like dangerous and genuine, like when you're seeing something that didn't happen the night before, or you hear them have a rant that doesn't happen every night. It's really special. Or like someone messes up a note or someone breaks a string or I love that kind of stuff. I love to feel like I'm in the moment, in time with the band, being raw and real. I'm not a big fan of when bands throw temper tantrums. I think that's really weak. I think like if something cuts out, I think you got to roll with the punches and have fun. The crowd doesn't care as much as you think they do. Um, I've always taken that mentality when I go on stage. I'm like, you know what? Either we're gonna suck super bad and nobody will care, or we'll do a great show and people will be stoked. Like people think like if you play a bad show, one show, you're ruined. It's like no way. No one cares enough. Like no one is thinking about you as much as you think they are. Like they just. I mean, how many times have you saw a band that you didn't really care for and you walked away and probably never said a word about it? You're probably like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they were all right. It's not that good. Not my thing. Let's get a
Right.
beer. At the end of the day, that band goes on to play more shows. You didn't stop their career, and who cares about your opinion anyway? It's just one opinion, and I think that's the cool thing about art. It's like some people can appreciate it, some people cannot. Doesn't matter, you know. Just do it for yourself, enjoy it. As long as me and my band's having fun, and we believe in it and love it, we're only putting music out to share with people that might also love it. Um, Not to convince or please the people who might hate it. I don't care about that. I could put music out and have everyone not like it and still be okay with it as long as I really love what I'm putting out. And
Yeah.
I've always had that mentality, and that's never going to change. And I don't like to cater to anything that I might like feel like, oh, people will really like it if we did this. It's like, no, well, I like it. I mean, I need to love it, you know. And that's really important to me. And I feel like when people do that, when people kind of do it for themselves, I feel like in turn you're doing it for other people because it's coming from a place where you really cared enough to make it great, and now other people can enjoy it because as much as you enjoy it, you know. It's
Right.
very important. I think Rick Rubin always had that kind of mindset too. Is like you kind of got to be a little selfish with it to be selfless with it in a weird
Mm,
way, you know.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's cool. Music is so much fun again. For 4 years after COVID, or like few years after COVID, I felt lost, burnt out. I was just like kind of ready to hang music up, and I just wanted to get into psychology and maybe like figure out a new line of work because music was just I just didn't really understand the purpose. There was a moment that I kind of went down a dark path. But through some meditation and through some like self shadow work and like figuring out why I do the things I do, why I started music in the first place, what's the point of life? I came to the conclusion that music is really fun, and I want to do it forever. And I just needed to regain what made it fun and why it's important to me. And I just started thinking of all the musicians out there and artists that affected my life, had a huge impact, and how special they are to me. And they might not be famous. There's a couple of people that I think are the most important people in my life that like probably 20 people know about. And I think that's what's cool about art. It doesn't need to be big, doesn't need to be successful to appreciate and love it. Your favorite artist can be a closet artist, and you get to cherish their music forever. So art and music and all that is more important than getting like a job that pays well, but like does you don't get to you might lose your soul in it or something. I feel like anything you want to do in life, you should be really happy and feel like you're really. It could even be like cleaning the floors, like if you're enjoying that. I've done my fair share of all that. I've worked my 12-hour bagging grocery jobs, and so I actually enjoyed it. But I had the realization that music is what I love, and I just needed to remind myself.
What is a concert that still stands out to you that you went to and you're just like, Whoa, like this was something else."
I have a couple. I have two in my mind that popped up simultaneously. One that was flooring. Um, was the Fat White Family played at Anchored Inn used to have a venue next to it. I think it was called the Acheron or something like that. It was next door, and the Fat White Family played. And we actually our drummer at the time lived in the same building as Danny Fields, and Danny Fields, Punk Danny, who used to manage the Ramones, and he discovered Iggy Pop and all. He's a legend. Shout out Danny Fields if you have not seen Danny Says. It's amazing.
Yeah, that
Documentary about his life.
very interesting documentary.
He's just awesome. But we got to meet him, and he actually highly recommended this new band called the Fat White Family, and said you should go see them. And so we went to see them at Akron. And as LA and I were watching their show, it was very, very apparent that we were witnessing a very important band. It felt like seeing like Iggy Pop for the first time, or like when people talk about old legends about seeing them. It like floored us. It felt super genuine. There was a moment where the band played like a slow song, and everyone like sat on the floor, but the way they did it wasn't gimmicky. It was like everything that they did on stage, you could tell was not practiced even a little bit. They were extremely tight and sloppy at the same time. Um, it felt dangerous and unpredictable. And I left thinking they're the best band on planet Earth by far. I felt like they were the most important. I met Leas and Saul and the band and Nathan, and we actually proceeded to become such good friends that later, years later, they actually called me random. Nathan called me randomly and asked me to if I could fill in for Saul because he lost his passport to play the David Letterman show the night before David Letterman show. So I had like a quick practice, and then I was on late night TV with the Fat White Family. But which is also just such a cool story in and of itself. But that seeing that show like really blew my mind. That's one show that was just awesome. And I'm so grateful to be there. You can find maybe a clip, a song or two on YouTube. It was the Fat White Family at Acheron a long time ago, and it was just mind blowing. Another one was Strange Boys, Ryan Samble's band, old band, the Strange Boys. They played a show at Glasslands, and it was so quiet that you could talk like this level and hear each other's talk, but they also sounded so good. And it was a moment LA and I were like, man, you don't need to be loud to like hit. Like sometimes quiet, like playing quiet, but in the pocket hits. And that was
It hits way
profound.
harder, way
Yeah, because
harder.
you're not like having to put earplugs in, and it's also just like a gutsy thing to do to play like at a volume where like people aren't again, every music is like, I guess the MC5 probably, cranking them up, it probably makes more sense, or Jimi Hendrix, but still that was a lesson and that floored us. And then the only another show that I could think of that definitely changed my life as a kid was so the Hives were a mainstream rock band. They had Hate to Say I Told You So. And
Right.
I grew up in a power pop punk rock scene where I kind of saw the Hives as mainstream rock, and anything mainstream as a young teenage punk didn't sit well. Like I wanted to like Johnny Thunders or like the punk bands, and the Hives, like that's radio music to me. That was radio music. But my friend Corey Wright, who I grew up with in the power pop skate world, he and one of my heroes, Mike McDagger, was also somebody in the Salinas music scene. Said you got to come and see the Hives, and they took me to San Francisco. I don't even think I was I was young. I'd like sneak out for it, and seeing them perform, it was like Iggy Pop, James Brown. They crushed it, and it felt way less commercial than I thought it was going to be. It was way more punk. Like there's a moment when Mike, my buddy, like the Hives are playing, um, and they like in between a song, Nicholas Arson, the guitar player, went out and was like doing this to the crowd. And my friend Mike McDagger goes up and flips him off, right? And he's doing this and he's flipping him off and he's throwing a pick and egging him on. And that's the moment I realized, oh, the Hives are one of us. Like, this is fun. This is like audience, like, this is talking shit to the crowd and talking shit back and having fun because these guys are come from punk rock music. They're more punk than any punk band. And the fact that they're on the mainstream level only means that there is a really cool punk man that's on a mainstream level and getting away with it. And I thought that they became one of my favorite bands after that. I think Pele is like, they're all genius, awesome people. And then again, lucky enough to become friends with them and tour with them. During COVID, we did Florida and Texas and became good friends. Um, but that was another mind blowing show where it just sounded, they were just nonstop action packed, like DC on steroids, like Mick Jagger on steroids. It was like all my favorite bands on steroids, and it was just the perfect show. So those are three that like blew my mind there. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the
can
Hives are
I can I
fantastic. Yeah, please.
can I ask you the same question? I'm like curious. Like, could you think of a show that like kind of floored you and kind of changed your life? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Willie Nelson, when I saw him, that was like really a special show. Um,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really
Willie's
stuck out.
course, and he's just that voice. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
like you don't that doesn't no one sings like that. No one writes songs like that. It's outlaw country, but it's deep and emotional and sensitive at the same time. It's like it's Willie is so special. It's actually funny you bring up Willie Nelson because speaking of like, I brought up Patton a bunch of times. Like the Nude Party was in charge of booking one of the stages on Willie Nelson's ranch for South by, and they picked us as one of the bands. So we went and performed at Willie's ranch with Nude Party and a bunch of other bands. And the green room was actually his tour bus. So we were on Willie Nelson's freaking tour bus with the Nude Party, like DJing, playing music, the whole thing. And as a very awesome treat, um, Willie Nelson shows up, drives his pickup truck to the stage with his granddaughter and all his family, and goes on stage and performs for us at his ranch. I don't know if you know anything about his ranch, but it's pretty much an old Western movie set, and he didn't touch it. He left it up. So when you would go to the bar to get a drink, you go into like a saloon and you order the bar there. I mean, order a drink at the saloon, and it was just very cool. And being a Willie Nelson freak myself, um, I thought that was the most special thing. And I called my grandfather, who's an old country guy, huge Willie Nelson fan, and that was special to me because I got to tell my grandpa like I'm on Willie Nelson's tour bus here. Like it was special for sure. And he played like the most raw set I could ever imagine. There was a moment where he took a solo and it was like kind of being botched. Like he was almost not hitting all the notes in a cool way. And I'm like, damn, Willie Nelson is punk rock. Like he's just crushing it up there as an old man, like killing it, and the voice sounds the same. I couldn't agree more with you. I think Willie Nelson's so special, and I that was a really cool experience. Um, for us to have that too. So I
Oh
hear you.
yeah.
Willie stands on it on his own. He's amazing. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Uh,
Such a good voice. That voice kills me.
oh yeah. Going back to Patton for one more minute here, his song from his new album, uh, "Always Keep the Exit Sign in View." That is such a good song. I've been listening to that a lot lately. It's just a fantastic album that he put out recently.
Amazing. Classic country album. And it has that patent twist on it. He's a genius songwriter. I have a lot of respect and love for him. Um, really cool. Cool, such a cool record.
Yeah.
And good for him to do something like that. I'm actually doing something like that myself. I feel like I feel like sometimes playing in the Mystery Lights is great. I love it, but it's one shape. It's like one part of myself. Because I also love, I grew up loving power pop, and like, so I'm putting out a solo power pop record, and it's not announced yet, and it's okay to bring it up here. At some point the news will drop, but it's going to come out in the winter, and it's like just me 2 minute pop songs like the Nerves, Plimsolls, the Shivers, that kind of style. And I produced it with the same guy who did Patton's record, so the same guy, Hunter Davidson, in Johnson City, who also did Sheer Mag and all some other power poppy stuff. Um, and I'm really excited about it. So when I saw Patton do that, his solo thing, I know that that means a lot to him. This means a lot to me, and I also have other solo stuff I want to do. And Patton really did inspire me even to like make it happen, because we should be putting all our music out there. I'm really bad at that. I'll write a song, I'll listen to it myself and enjoy it myself for a week straight, and then I'll be like, all right, cool, what's next? And I'm like, well, you should probably put that out. I have 3 records that I've done. Each record's like 30 minutes. That's an hour and a half worth of music. Yet I have 100 songs written, finished on a hard drive. I feel like that's a crime to people who enjoy the songs. So I'm making a point. This is one of my revelations that I had after COVID. I'm making a point to put everything out. I want to leave behind all of that. And I think you do that by making moves and recording the things you want to do. Don't have a ceiling. Don't box yourself into garage music. I have a soul record I'm going to record. It's like more soulful style. I wrote a folk record, just acoustic harmonica, like on some Bob Dylan type stuff. I have like a solo Roy Orbison, Van Morrison type thing I want to record. So like I'd say the next 6 years of my life are like booked up just with that alone, let alone new music I might write. So and Patton really inspired me to do that. I mean, he made it happen. The artwork's amazing. Him on the horse, the painting, like such a genius like move. And I think it's just awesome and inspiring. And I'm hoping to do similar stuff with putting out this power pop record. It means a lot to me. Like it's like my child. It's like an homage to my power pop childhood upbringing. You know,
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you think that when
I'll
this
share it with
album
you.
please do. But when you put out this album and it's finally released, do you think that that will just open up a floodgate for you in terms of just being productive, not only with this, but with Mystery Lights stuff and everything else as well?
Yeah, I think just getting it done has already done that for myself. I don't necessarily need the validation. I actually just by having it done, it's getting mastered. I have a label ready to put it out. I have a music video booked next because I want to make a music video too. It's gonna be more like not conceptual at all. I like videos of old power pop bands just performing. Um,
And that alone is like a music video in itself.
Yeah,
Just
it's
performing,
a,
right?
and it's just pretty much going to be me in different disguises playing the song, and it's going to look on old cameras. It's going to be funny and stupid, and all like I said, it's like each song's like 2 minutes. It's ten songs, 19-minute album. So in and out, I think that's cool. I love that, but it's already opened up the floodgates because since finishing that, I've already booked Mystery Lights sessions for a new Mystery Lights record in October, November. We also we're going to be announcing and putting something out soon. An exciting announcement's coming. Um, we're going to be collaborating with the Giz on something really cool that we're announcing soon, which is going to be fun. There's an
Awesome.
exciting announcement. They have their label P Doom, and we have a special
Mm,
thing that we're going to be putting out with them. I mean, it's a cool thing, and the Fast Kids stuff is gonna that's the Power Pop stuff is gonna announce soon too, and then there's a lot of just cool stuff in the works, and I'm thinking about next year as well about like, I want to make an acoustic record, more similar to what Patton did, like a little bit more. I think it's gonna be more folky. Um, Singer songwriter style. Like I'm a big fan of like Daniel Johnston and that like kind of lo-fi ish folk stuff. I'm a like a more like a lot of psychological lyrics and stuff.
mhm.
Um, I want to put that out. I'm working just a lot of cool stuff. I'm just excited. I'm like I've never been more inspired, and like I kind of thought, the older you get, like maybe you'd start to like the past your prime concept or whatever. I just think that that's a story people tell themselves. I think that if you buy into the older you get, you start to lose something. I think that's such a joke. Carl Jung had a pin when he said life starts at 40. Before that you're just doing research. I really do believe it. I think I understand what he means. Like after all of the lessons in life that you learn by a certain age, you start to like just get it. Like you just get like what makes you happy and how to communicate to people and how to be a better person, and just like I think I've reached that state of just like I'm not as argumentative as I used to be. I'm not as defensive. I've let go of a bunch of stuff. Life starts to click. Death starts to become less daunting. And I feel like you become more creative because you don't have the baggage of anxiety, you know? Um, you don't have that baggage. So I don't know. I think things are like now so exciting, and times are crazy in the world right now. Obviously, that could be very distracting. I know some people, there's a lot of shit going on in the world. And for me, I think it's a perfect time to be creative. I think anytime really good art has thrived, it's in the middle of atrocity. I don't think there would have been an MC5 without their protests and stuff. I think a lot of this is a time to strike. So it's a good time for me to be inspired. And I have had some conversations. Obviously, I don't like to get too political with my music. I kind of like to take the Bob Dylan approach, where instead of taking a public stance, you just tell the facts, and you do it in a way where, so I kind of felt like Bob Dylan in his lyrics never really necessarily took a side. I think he's saying about a situation so clearly and poetically and beautifully that once you put the facts out there in a very crystal clear cut way, you know where the righteous path is. You understand um, the what's right and wrong in the situation. I think that's cool. So I feel like if I can somehow strategically place some stuff in the songs and not get too political, but also maybe say some things that might have a cool impact that might appease an opposing side. I'm always one to think, if I have an opinion on something, I like to listen to somebody who has the opposite opinion more than somebody who has the same opinion, because I need to understand the side that thinks differently. I'm like, interesting. Like, how did you? I know you're probably not a bad person. How did you come to believe this? Like, what was your upbringing? And um, I like to understand that side. And the more you understand somebody maybe you don't agree with or something, or because there's a lot of like clashing these days. And I feel like if you can try to understand each other and you put stuff that in your lyrics, you might say something that might impact both sides equally, just based on making a righteous statement that everybody can agree on. What's the common grounds that doesn't divide us, but maybe unites us? I think that that's really important right now for art. And I would love to have a place in that future of like writing a lyric that both parties, people who disagree, kind of brings everyone together, you
Yeah,
know,
right, right.
if that makes sense.
It
Um,
does. Yeah, and it's a tough thing to do, especially today in today's day.
mhm,
Yeah.
very tough. Everything's so divisive. That's really sad to me. And that was what was so cool about the Giz festival. It felt like a huge, awesome community. It felt like you had lawyers who may have been like closet Giz fans. You had like people who have. I just had a conversation with someone about this, like right before I jumped on this podcast. It was kind of funny. Somebody else who was at Field Division, it felt like there were people from all walks of life, all ethnicities, all different beliefs coming together and having a hippie style time listening to this band that they love so much. And it felt like everyone was just having a great time and getting along. And it was cool just seeing so many different styles of people: long hair, mohawk, punks, lawyer looking 9 to 5ers, the business owners. Yeah, it was just cool to see, like, I don't know, it just felt really special. They did a really cool thing out there, and I'm only bringing that up because I would love to see less divisiveness. I understand that it's always been a thing, even growing up, but right now it's like the worst. And so anything that I can do to like unite people or understand people or make people feel good or have fun in times of chaos is I feel like that's important
Yeah,
in and of itself, just being able to show people out a little bit, or at least add some stoicism to their life, you know.
right. I think you're onto something there, Mike. I'm not gonna argue with you. I think that's a good idea. I like it, man.
You're signed on. You'll invest.
I'm signed up. I'm in.
Yeah.
Um, going back to shows, was there a show that you had the opportunity to go to at some point and you didn't, that you regret not attending now?
Yeah, 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 big time. Dead Moon played Fred and Tootie, and a fill-in drummer played an electric show um, in New York. I can't remember where it was called, where it was. It was like in an alleyway in New York, and that LA, our guitar player and Alex, our bassist, went and said it was one of the coolest shows they ever saw. I got the opportunity to see Fred Cole and Tootie Cole play acoustic, and I thought that was amazing and mind blowing. So I couldn't even imagine getting a chance to see the electric version. So that definitely, can't believe I missed that, for sure. That was really special. according to them. Yeah, I wish I went to that, but what are you gonna do?
You got to go to shows that they interest you. I think that's the takeaway. If you want to go see a show and somebody's playing and you're able to go see them.
I think the problem was I was gone. I was like in California or something.
Well,
I
I
was
don't know.
visiting
I
family.
mean, there's no. What are you supposed to do then, Mike?
Yeah,
It's impossible then.
but it was something that I think, man, that would have been cool to see. Outside of that, maybe the Misfits. That would have been cool to see too. I didn't go to that show when they all reunited and came out in Jersey.
Mm.
That's wild. I'm a huge Misfits fan. And Glenn Danzig also put out like during COVID a solo album where he sings Elvis songs, and it's so underrated. It's so good. It's like stuff you listen to like drinking in the bathtub, and you got some. I don't know why I feel like it's bathtub music, and if you hear it, you'll know what I mean. It's downtime music. It's like very cool. It's just him and then a shitty sounding guitar singing Elvis. It's like that so ballady and amazing. It's awesome. Glenn Danzig does Elvis. Check it out if you haven't.
I haven't even heard
Underrated.
about this. I'll check it out though.
So
Uh,
underrated.
are there bands or artists that really influenced you later on with we'll just use the Mystery Lights with Mystery Lights music that you weren't interested in or found any value in when you began?
The Hives for
Oh yeah.
sure. Remember, like that was a big one. That was when I realized commercial music can be punk. Like especially, also music sometimes is misunderstood. Um, we played a show in Poland once with M.I.A. Paper Planes
Oh yeah.
M.I.A.
Yeah.
And she pulled up in a minivan with dancers that like were like her friends. It wasn't like some pro situation, and she
And
went up there and it was like oddly punk, but she was like,
this was
that
in
song's like,
Poland?
yeah, isn't that crazy? But we played with her and she killed it and made me realize pop music could be just as punk as the music we do. I mean, she showed up with like backup dancers who, and also I don't mean to throw shade when I say this. I think it's cool, but they weren't like the best dancers in the world. They were kind of like, like sister in the bedroom with her friends dancers, and they were all super cool and they danced cool. But I'm just saying, it felt like kind of bootleg style, and it was cool, and it made MIA to me more punk than she already was. I mean, I guess Paper Planes was a takeoff of a Clash song, so of course she comes from punk music, but I think that was eye opening. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is sometimes you'll discover later that these pop stars are actually come from the underground too, and have like pop or punk backgrounds and inspirations and stuff too. So that was cool, recognizing that. But some bands that grew on me. I mean, I guess Neil Young for me. I was always a Bob Dylan fan, and Neil Young I never really connected. And I guess as I got older, I started getting more into the music. I started to see it's you know. Um, who else is a good one? That's a really good question, actually, because I know that your opinion changes with time on some styles. Um, I know that I have a couple, but I'm not. I'm blanking now. What would it be for you?
Um, slowly but surely, jazz. I never was into it when I was a really young kid. I wasn't exposed to it, and I didn't understand it. And there's a lot of it I still don't understand at all. Um, but like slowly, like, oh, okay, I like this, and especially like Miles Davis. Um,
So cool.
there's still some stuff that it's not my thing, but there's a lot of this stuff that I really appreciate.
Yeah, yeah, jazz. I can see that. I mean, I always kind of liked jazz. But as I got older, I really started to like jazz.
Hmm.
Like I think I see what you mean. It started to make more sense to me actually. The more I started seeing people do it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is like just a jam, and it's wild, and it's um But yeah, that's a really good that's a really good example.
Thank you.
You know,
Yeah. Now let me ask you, is there an album from whatever band that has really just stayed in the pocket for you that's like this is a great album that you just gained a lot of insight from or just really enjoy just in general?
I think there's a few. I think the monks Black Monk Time is one of the most important ones. That inspired the like Purgatory insanely. Probably the biggest inspiration. The Mystery Lights were the monks for Halloween 4 years back or something. And after doing the monks, I realized like that we kind of have a similar style or a similar feel to approach. And so the new Purgatory record was heavily inspired by the monks and Gary Berger's vocal. Well, I realized I kind of sing kind of like we have similar register. And I thought he was so interesting. So I was like, well, that kind of means I'm a little interesting too with my voice. So I'm going to play with it. And he made me feel like I wanted to experiment more. So that record means a lot to me.
That's
Um, but
awesome.
but there are a handful of like really, really, really good ones that are just perfect. Um,
Weren't those guys like v- v- servicemen who were
yeah,
like in Vietnam or something?
yeah, they were stationed. It was the Cold War
Okay.
in Germany, and they were stationed, and that's how they met. And they started playing because they were playing music at the GI bar, local GI bar in Germany. And then after some time, I mean, they were kind of like wanting to be like a mop top band, like they wanted to be like the Beatles, but they were also in the army, so they didn't have long hair. Like, well, they did have long hair. I'm sorry, they had a different band, but they wanted to kind of fit into that pop Beatles kind of thing. And over time, their success wasn't happening. People were kind of like ignoring them. And I think they started to get bitter, people ignoring them. And, they started getting kind of anti. And they started to, one time they were having a rehearsal and Gary Berger puts his guitar on the amp and he goes to the bathroom to take a piss. And the guitar starts to feedback as the band was kind of playing and they kept playing and he came back and they were like, yo, like that was awesome. And so they started to do that, feedback the guitar. And I think they like just started to like, you know, you kind of become the anti-Beatles in a funny way. Like they wanted like instead of pleasing people and doing the pop thing, they started to want to like be loud and feedbacky and like less guitar. And then that's when Carl and the two guys that became their managers saw something. They saw, wait a minute, what if you wear all black? What if you cut your hair like monk tonsures and like you become, instead of singing harmonies out loud in a high pitched voice, you do deep voices and like you're monks and you're dark and you're the anti Beatles and you do feedback and that's how they started and it's really cool. And yeah, they were. It's funny they're like all Americans, but people consider them a German band and they also were um they people also give them credit for starting krautrock because they were doing all those weird sounds and keys stuff like with Roger doing his keyboard stuff. Some of that stuff is very crowdy, and because they were in Germany, they can be considered to be one of the first krautrock bands. One of my favorite bands, and that record is the best record. I think if you listen to it from start to finish, it's just mind blowing,
Perfect.
loud.
Would you say it's a 10 out of 10 perfect album?
I think 10 out of 10 perfect album. So good. It's really, really awesome. There was a moment in the Purgatory tour, October through up until now, or even I know the October tour when we first came out and did our European tour month. I listened to it every single day, once a day in the car. So if I was reading a book, monks are in the background. I actually got a book for that tour, Black Monk Time, and I have the copy over here somewhere. Um, but I got it from Eddie Shaw, who wrote the book, and he sent it to me. I said I'm a huge fan. I introduced myself. I said we play in a band called the Mystery Lights and made our album's heavily inspired by the monks. And he sent me a copy of the book and drew in it for me. He drew a picture and he wrote a cool note to me, and it was really awesome.
Oh, that's great.
But it's a good book. Eddie Shaw's Black Monk Time. It talks about the whole monk's history, and it's freaking awesome. Really, 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 really cool. Really special.
That's
Awesome cover
awesome.
too. Yeah,
Um, you know, I
great, great album.
yeah, I read that the Mystery Lights one it's following one fan at a time. Are you taken back by how many people really enjoy and resonate with your music now?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's crazy to we just played Denver. Last time we played Denver before we had anything going on for us, we had like 20 people come, and this time it sold out. And being told like Denver sold out, or Berlin sold out, or Paris sold out, it's crazy to us because our whole life was not sold out. You can always get tickets at a Mystery Light show. Like, just get them at the door, be on the guest list, whatever. Now it's selling out. I think that's so crazy and so cool. And now, like, I'll go to a show to play, and used to be just all our friends. Now I don't know, 75% of the crowd. I'll have like, 20% is our friends, and the rest is random strangers who are stoked and fans. And um, it's so freaking awesome. And to even Field of Vision, somebody showed up dressed as me. They had their green jumpsuit and asked the security guard if they could meet me, and I came out and gave them a hug, and it was just so cool. And actually, here's another trip. Check this out. One time I'm at because I have a green jumpsuit now that I decided to wear for the Purgatory tour, and I put a name tag Mike B on it. And I put the logo of the bull, and I did it because I thought like this is my work outfit. Like I clock in, I put the jumpsuit on. Plus I jump off amps. It's jumpsuit. It's perfect. And plus the military green. I was into the monks at the time, so I kind of liked that idea. And um, I'm in Halloween. I go to play a Jonathan Tobin Halloween party at Knockdown Center, and I pass somebody as me, and it's somebody I did not know, but they were dressed as me. They had the name tag, they had the logo, and I took a picture with them, and then it's just crazy. Like I didn't know the kid, and then I thanked him. I was like, man, this is so cool and special. Like, and then now I know him. I see him come to shows and stuff. But it's just I thought that was nuts. I'm like, what? Like our music had such an impact now that people are dressing like that's like me. That's so cool. Like it's flattering. I'm definitely grateful to have fans and people digging the music. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's a trip.
amazing. That's
It's a
that,
trip.
that's great. Mike, thank you so much for coming on here, man. I'm really glad that we are able to set this up and do this, man. Really means a lot to me. So thank you, dude.
Thanks for having me on. And
Before I let you go, there's some stuff in the works that we gotta promote here. So the newest Mystery Lights 45, before you realize it, backed with Cerebral Crack, is streaming everywhere. Wherever people get their music, that's where they could find it, right?
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
And it can be purchased through shop.daptonerecords.com, along with the with other merch and releases. You can also find that there. Um, and people can find different merch in digital downloads through the Bandcamp at mysterymerch.bandcamp.com. And everybody can find tickets to upcoming shows by visiting the link tree at linktree/the mystery lights. And everyone can stay up to date with news and shows and tours and all this good stuff by following the band on Instagram, right? That's the best place. It's
Yeah, definitely.
right on. And that's at the mystery lights on Instagram. And there's some more stuff in the works, so definitely go and follow that on Instagram to stay up to date. But did we miss anything, Mike,
No,
before we let you go?
that's awesome. No, that's great. Thanks for plugging all that. That's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. I gotta do the research on here, Mike. I gotta do it.
Yeah. Well,
But
thank you.
yeah, man, and thank you so much for being here. I'm really glad that we were able to do this, man. Thank you so much.
Same. Same. Cool,
And
Jacob.
I appreciate you, and I'm gonna stop recording this. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you, man.